Imagine walking through the gates of a vast zoological park, but not just any park, a place where time itself has been rewritten. The air trembles with a strange vibration, and in the distance, the sound of something ancient, something that shouldn't exist, echoes through the mist. A world where creatures long erased from existence are stepping back into reality. Could you stand face to face with a saber-toothed tiger? Would you dare to watch a 10-ton sea cow rise again from the depths of extinction? It might sound like pure fantasy, like Jurassic Park Reborn, but this isn't fiction anymore. Right now, across secret laboratories and remote research facilities, scientists are actually trying to resurrect lost species. Using fragments of DNA, preserved fossils, and the most advanced genetic engineering ever created, humanity is on the verge of undoing millions of years of natural history. But the real question is, should we? The story begins with one of the most famous victims of human ignorance, the dodo. Once this bird lived peacefully on the island of Mauritius. It was large, flightless, and curious, too curious for its own good. Within a single century of human arrival, it vanished, erased, gone forever. For centuries, the dodo became a symbol of extinction, a monument to our careless destruction. But now something extraordinary is happening. Scientists have successfully sequenced parts of the dodo's DNA. Using its closest living relatives, such as the Nicobar pigeon, they are working to reconstruct its genome piece by piece, cell by cell. If they succeed, the dodo could once again walk the earth. It wouldn't just be science, it would be redemption, a symbolic act of reversing a fatal mistake. And if they can bring back the dodo, what else could they resurrect? Next comes a true legend of the Ice Age, the saber-toothed tiger, the apex predator that once ruled frozen plains with its enormous fangs and unmatched strength. Its fossils, perfectly preserved in tar pits, have revealed astonishing details of its DNA. Imagine it. This magnificent beast, alive once more, pacing behind the reinforced glass of a conservation dome. With the help of modern lions or jaguars as genetic templates, researchers are considering recreating an animal that hasn't walked the earth for over 10,000 years. It could restore balance to ecosystems, control overpopulated herbivores, reintroduce fear where it once existed naturally. Yet, at the same time, there's a haunting question. Could the modern world even survive the return of a predator that powerful? But not all the candidates for resurrection are beasts of terror. Some are ghostly echoes of beauty, like the quagga, a half-striped zebra that once roamed southern Africa. It was hunted to extinction in the 19th century, but because modern zebras still share its genes, scientists are literally breeding the past back into existence. Through selective crossbreeding, they've created what are now called quagga-like zebras, creatures that look almost identical to their extinct ancestors. In a way, they are living mosaics of history, created from the fragments of memory stored in modern DNA. What's fascinating is not just that the quagga is coming back, but that its return could restore lost ecosystems, filling roles abandoned for centuries. Another ghost of Europe's past, the aurochs. This ancient, massive ancestor of modern cattle once thundered across European plains, worshipped and feared for its raw power. Over the centuries, we domesticated and diluted it until the mighty aurochs vanished, but its spirit still lingers within modern cows. Now scientists with the Taurus and Urus projects are trying to recreate it by backbreeding ancient cattle breeds that still carry fragments of the original aurochs' DNA. Their goal? To release these new neo-aurochs back into the wild, to rewild Europe, restore grasslands, and even combat climate change. Because these beasts were more than animals. They were architects of their environments, shaping forests and meadows with every thunderous step. Bringing them back wouldn't just be symbolic, it might be ecological salvation. On the other side of the world, deep in the green wilderness of New Zealand, another giant once walked. The moa, a colossal, flightless bird taller than a human, extinct for centuries. With fossils so well preserved that DNA fragments still exist, geneticists are now trying to reconstruct its genome using related birds as surrogates. Picture that, walking through a forest and suddenly seeing a massive bird, ancient and proud, emerging from the mist, a creature from a time before memory. But the question remains, would these resurrected beings belong in our modern world? Or would they be strangers doomed to vanish again? And beneath the waves, a lost giant still calls to us. The Steller sea cow, a massive marine herbivore, once glided through icy Pacific waters. Peaceful, slow, and immense, it was discovered in the 1700s and wiped out less than 30 years later by human hunters. Now, preserved bones and tissue samples may hold the key to bringing it back. Using manatees as genetic hosts, scientists are hoping to reintroduce a species that could help restore balance to the marine ecosystems devastated by human greed. But the task is monumental. Ancient DNA degrades over time, fragment by fragment. To bring back a species like this would require not just science, but near-miracle precision. Still, humanity has never been so close to the impossible. And finally, a story that feels poetic: the Carolina parakeet, the only native parrot of the eastern United States. Bright, noisy, and full of color, it vanished in the early 20th century. Today, preserved museum specimens may hold enough DNA to resurrect it, using related parrot species as genetic bases. If reborn, this tiny bird could once again scatter seeds through forests, control insect populations, and fill the skies with the sounds of a species thought forever lost. But as science inches closer to rewriting extinction, a dark shadow grows over the entire idea. Are we doing this to heal the world, or to play God? Each experiment blurs the line between genius and madness, because the same technology that can bring back a species could also unleash something uncontrollable. The world we live in isn't the same as the one these creatures knew. The climates have shifted, habitats have vanished. So if they return, will it be a second chance, or another tragedy waiting to repeat itself? Beyond the edge of known history, there are other wonders lying dormant, creatures whose existence was erased by time and human hands. Imagine a world where the giant ground sloth once roamed South America, a behemoth capable of tearing through forests, whose very presence shaped the landscape. Centuries of extinction haven't diminished its memory. Fossils and preserved remains hint at a body that could dwarf elephants, moving slowly but powerfully through ancient jungles. Today, geneticists dream of reconstructing this gentle giant, hoping to revive not only its form but its ecological role, returning balance to ecosystems long altered by humans. Then there's the thylacine, the so-called Tasmanian tiger, whose striped back and wolf-like form haunted the forests and mountains of Australia. Declared extinct in the 20th century, its final echoes live in preserved skins and photographic records. With advances in cloning and DNA sequencing, scientists are exploring ways to awaken this predator once more. Imagine hearing its eerie howl in the night, a sound that vanished from our world a century ago. Could we coexist with such a creature again? Or would it become a ghost of the past, trapped in a cage of our making? Across the icy tundras of the Arctic, another marvel awaits: the woolly rhinoceros. Covered in thick fur, armored with its massive horn, it once thundered alongside mammoths across frozen landscapes. Modern techniques suggest that by comparing its genome with living rhinoceroses, fragments of this beast could be pieced together, resurrecting a symbol of the Ice Age. But would it adapt to a planet drastically warmer than the one it once called home? Would these colossal grazers survive? Or would they fall victim once more to the relentless march of change? Meanwhile, in the oceans, shadows of the past stir in memory. The megalodon, the legendary predator of the deep, may never return in its full, terrifying glory. But the concept of recreating ancient marine life is no longer entirely fantasy. Researchers study genetic remnants of smaller, related sharks, hoping to understand the blueprint of prehistoric marine giants. Every step toward revival challenges our understanding of oceans, food chains, and the fragile balance of underwater worlds. In dense lost forests of South America, the titanoboa waits only in fossilized form, a snake stretching over 40 feet long, capable of preying on crocodiles. While the revival of such a serpent is far from feasible, its genetic story fuels human imagination, pushing the limits of what science might attempt next. Could we see a return of these colossal predators, slithering through a world vastly changed from the one they ruled? High above, the skies could once again be patrolled by the Argentavis, a bird of prey with a wingspan rivaling small aircraft. Extinct for millennia, its DNA fragments tantalize scientists who envision reconstructing a winged giant that dominated prehistoric skies. To witness such a creature soaring above modern mountains would be to glimpse a time beyond memory, a living bridge between eons. Yet for every marvel, there's a warning. Each resurrected species carries risks, unknown behaviors, and ecological consequences. The landscapes that once supported them have shifted, rivers have dried, forests have vanished, and climates have transformed. Bringing these giants back is more than science. It is a negotiation with fate itself. Every discovery forces us to confront a deeper question. Can humanity wield this godlike power responsibly? Or are we merely tempting disaster, repeating past mistakes under the guise of progress? The past whispers through every reconstructed gene, every cloned embryo, every lab-grown cell. It is a reminder of what we lost and what we might reclaim, if we dare. You've been watching Discover Now Facts. If the thrill of resurrected giants and the blurred lines between science and imagination captivate you, subscribe now. The story of life, extinction, and revival is far from over, and the next chapter may already be alive.